My cat goes boom till your cat can peel your shit back, fool. That's what you get for wearing the wrong hat.
Today, right here on DustyVisionTV, we're talking about one of the most overlooked figures in West Coast gangster rap history. A man whose life was filled with street politics, prison time, music, and tragedy. This is the story of Timothy SINISTER Johnson. While many rap fans know names like Tupac, DJ Quick, MC8, SINISTER's story remains largely unknown outside of hardcore West Coast rap circles. But his life reads like a movie script. He was born in 1970 in Los Angeles, California. He grew up in South Central LA during one of the most craziest periods in the city's history, 80s and 90s. Gangs was exploding throughout Los Angeles. As a young man, SINISTER became involved in street life at a very early age. By his teenage years, he had become affiliated with the family SWAN Bloods, which is a neighborhood that traces its roots to the Green Meadows and Watts area. Like many young men from South Central during that era, he experienced frequent encounters with law enforcement and the juvenile justice system. He attended Fremont High School, and he spent a lot of time in the city of Downey's most infamous juvenile hall, Los Padrinos, a.k.a. LP. I lived right down the street from LP back in the day. The streets definitely shaped much of who SINISTER would become. His story is unique. His older brother was a dude that went by the name of Big Evil. Apparently, Big Evil was one of the most feared and respected figures associated with the family Swans. Eventually, he'd be convicted of a double homicide case and sentenced to death row. Now, growing up with the brother who had that type of reputation, it undoubtedly influenced SINISTER's path. By the late 80s, SINISTER himself had become well known in the streets of South Central Los Angeles. Before music came into the picture, SINISTER's name was already being connected to serious criminal cases. In 1989, he was acquitted in a double homicide case, and later he would face additional legal issues and eventually be convicted in a conspiracy to commit murder case. Much of his adult life was spent moving between the streets, courtrooms, and prison cells. These are the experiences that would later become the foundation for his music. Now, unlike most rappers who simply talked about street life, SINISTER's fans believed he was rapping about things that he had actually lived. In the early 1990s, SINISTER's reputation began attracting attention in the music industry. According to many accounts, his music eventually caught the attention of people connected to Death Row Records and Interscope. At the time, gangster rap was exploding. Gone were the house party, kid and play, funny dance, crazy hair days. Now, we're bopping to the chronic. NWA, Death Row, Dog Pound. Labels were looking for authentic street voices. And SINISTER, he fit that mold perfectly. In 1994, he released his debut and only official studio album, the now cult classic Mobbin' for Life. Ironically, the album was actually released while he was locked up. The album features production from Tony Pizarro, who would later become known for his work with the one and only Tupac Shakur. Songs like I Won't Forget You, G, Life of a Sinner, Young G, The East Side became favorites amongst underground West Coast rap hip-hop heads. The standout track, by most accounts, was undoubtedly I Won't Forget You, G. Even today, many fans consider it one of the most emotional gangster rap songs to come out of Los Angeles during the 1990s. The song dealt with loss, loyalty, and friends who had passed in the streets. And it resonated with so many people who had experienced similar tragedies. One of the biggest questions surrounding Sinister is, why didn't he become a bigger star? There are several reasons. First and foremost, he was incarcerated during the album's release. That made promotion extremely difficult. And if you don't have promotion back then, you have nothing. If you weren't getting your face in those magazines, if you weren't getting down to the local record shops back then, you were pretty much screwed. But not only that, 1994 was an interesting time in hip-hop. The West Coast rap scene in 1994 was incredibly crowded. You had Tupac, Dre, Snoop, Warren G, Bub the Law, DJ Quick, Spice One, MC8, and so many other people competing for attention. And third, on why he probably didn't blow up, was his legal troubles. They just continued to follow him. Eventually, the album underperformed commercially and his relationship with the major label ended. But despite low sales, the album developed a loyal cult following. And to this day, many collectors consider Mobbin' for Life a hidden gem of 1990s West Coast rap. The 2000s brought more heartbreak. In 2001, Sinister's girlfriend was murdered while he was incarcerated. Friends say the loss deeply impacted him. By this point, Sinister had experienced the deaths of numerous friends and loved ones. The lifestyle that he had lived for years seemed to be catching up with everyone around him. After serving prison time for conspiracy to commit, Sinister was eventually released in 2004. According to family and friends, he began trying to live a more responsible life. He was focused on his children. People close to him said he had matured significantly compared to his younger years. Many believe he was trying to leave some of the street drama behind. Unfortunately, the streets don't always let people walk away. On November 25th, 2007, tragedy struck. Around 3 a.m., Sinister was returning home from a party in the Watts area of Los Angeles. He reportedly stopped to speak with friends outside when suddenly an unknown gunman opened fire. Timothy Sinister Johnson was struck multiple times, and he lost his life right then and there. He was 37 years old. This shook many people who knew him. One detail from the case, it's already public record, became especially memorable. Reports stated that when police arrived, a pit bull puppy chained in the yard was curled up against Sinister's body. The image stuck with many readers who followed the case. Despite investigations, it remains unsolved until this day. Today, Sinister remains one of the great what if stories in West Coast rap. There's a lot of them. What if he had stayed out of prison? What if Mobbin' for Life had received more promotion? What if he had been given another major label opportunity? We'll never know. But what we do know is that his music continues to live on. For fans of authentic Los Angeles gangster rap like myself, Minister represents a raw snapshot of Los Angeles, specifically South Central, during one of his and its most turbulent eras. His story is also a reminder of how much talent was lost to the streets during the 80s and 90s. His life was filled with highs and lows. He survived court cases. He survived prison. He released a classic underground rap album. But in the end, he became another victim of the same violence that had surrounded him for much of his life. His music remains. His story remains. And for many West Coast rap fans, he'll always be remembered. Shout out to Sinister. When I was younger, I was always one of those guys searching for new music. I wanted songs that no one else had. I wanted to play music by rap groups that no one else knew about. Who's that? Oh, man. That's the 5-footers. They're from Long Beach. Oh, really? Nice. Okay. Who's that? Oh, man, that's Player Ham. He's the guy who does songs with DJ Quick. I was always looking for songs. I would go to the swap meet across the street from my house. Some of the funnest times of my life was going to that swap meet across the street from my house on Imperial and talking to the man, Asian dude, behind the counter, and he would always let me listen to the new music that came in because he knew I was there every Tuesday looking for new music. And for anyone who doesn't know, music was released on Tuesdays for some reason. I don't know why, still don't know why, but it was released on Tuesdays back then. So every Tuesday, I was right there with the Asian homie. Hey, can you cut this open for me, dog? And he would slice, because it was tapes, right? He would slice the bottom open of the wrapper, pull out the tape for me, put it in, and let me listen to it. And I'd be like, no, I'm good. Let me hear that one right there. What's that? Oh, South Central Cartel. Yeah, let me hear that one. Can you pop that in? Oh, I like that. Okay. I like that. What's that right there? KD, huh? Ask, or Cash. Oh, let me pop that. Damn. I was the guy at my school that had all the new music before anybody. Not just yanking your chain or whatever stupid phrase I'm looking for. I was that guy. I knew all the new music that came out. The area that I'm in, I introduced everyone to the group that would later on become my favorite group of all time, Outkast from Atlanta. Yeah, I was I got to say, in LA, I was one of the first on Outkast. Like that. You know what I mean? But Sinister is one of those tapes that I remember seeing posters of at the swap meet. I remember seeing his tape. Never bought it. I didn't appreciate his music till later, till YouTube came out. Definitely one of those breath of fresh airs, especially that song, I Won't Forget You, G. That's a really good song. You got to check out that song. If you haven't checked out anything, check out that song. Check out the whole album of Sinister, who had a very, very interesting life. Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now.
12, 13 years old, man. I moved from Compton, from the neighborhood, from the neighborhood in the LA, man. And we was right in, well, it was family Swan off of 88th and Central. It's a cat named Big Evil. He locked up, and Sinister is his brother. And we was running with them, man. And Sinister is passed away. God rest his soul. But yeah, we was running with them, man. And these cats used to come through all the time. LA was more active than Compton. It was like 100 more levels of active. You know what I'm saying? Than Compton was back then, man. And we was right in between the AGs, the Avalon Gardens, and on the other side of Central was the Kitchen Crips. So you had to have a pistol, man. You know what I'm saying? And we you had to have a pistol young, because them cats used to come through letting off all the time like clockwork. And we wasn't really involved like that, trying to break dance and all of that, man. But you just got to do what you got to do to survive, brother.
Man. Let's keep it pushing.
From the ones ever since I met the streets, I've seen a lot of homies leave the hood to never return. Sprayed up retaliation, peace our only concern. That's what we learned from the older homies loaded off Sherm. It's thug life mixed with ghetto living. Real wild.
So that's what we learned from the older homies smoking on Sherm.
Yep.
Sherm is something that I smelled a half a dozen times in my life, and I'll never get that smell out of my just when older people across the street were smoking or whatever the case is. But it's a horrible smell, and I'm assuming it's it's a horrible drug.
Embalming fluid.
Yeah.
Embalming fluid.
Yeah, talk to me about some of the maybe talk to older homies who are steering these kids down the wrong path based on that line that you just said, and Sherm. Talk to us about what you remember about Sherm.
Man, listen, that Sherm is no game at all. What it is it's embalming fluid. They actually embalm bodies with it, and cats was smoking it back then. I can share a story with you, man. When one of our older homies was loaded off Sherm, because I grew up in Campanella Park, so the park was right there. So we used to play football, because I grew up in the apartments across the street from the park, and we used to be up at the park playing football against the other streets, all of the other streets in the neighborhood. And we out there playing football one day, and this dude climbs up to the top of the telephone pole, loaded off Sherm, right, all the way to the top, set up at the top of the telephone pole, Indian style. It had to been about 500 feet, man. It probably higher than that. You know what I'm saying? Sitting up there, Shermed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Campanella Park, Paru, just screaming it. He's sitting up there. Everybody thought he was going to jump. We was younger, so we were just sitting, just waiting to see if he was going to jump off. He was that gone, man. And they ended up calling the police, and his mom came. Actually, when he got his mom told him, come down from there. He came down. Another time, I done seen countless dudes running up the street butt naked off of it. It takes your mind to somewhere crazy, bro. That's the little stuff about Sherm, man. That stuff is no game, nothing to play with. As far as the older homies, man, we have to do better, because you're going to be held accountable for what you do and say on this earth. And if you're steering and leading these youngsters to the pit of death, you're going to be held accountable for that, man. We got to lead them right. We got to start teaching them right, and we got to start telling them the way to go. I understand everybody ain't going to accept Jesus. Everybody ain't going to want to walk this walk. But if you want your life to change and be blessed, that's what you will do. You'll cry out to God.
When C-Mac was first exposed to the world a few years ago, I found him hilarious, entertaining. When he used to talk to his cat back in the day, or his grandma, or when he would talk about Popeye's chicken, I found it funny. Now, years later, it's just cringing to watch. A couple days ago, I saw one of the most upsetting videos I've seen in a long time. China Mac, a popular YouTuber vlogger, interviewed C-Mac. And there was a 4-year-old child in the studio throwing up gang signs, yelling out the name of a gang, all while C-Mac and China Mac sat back and talked about bussing big, beautiful booty sitches in their coochies and assholes. For my friends out there who don't understand C-Mac talk, that means he wants to have sex with big booty women in their vaginas and anus. Is that a good thing to talk about around a 4-year-old? Is it okay for a 4-year-old to be throwing up gang signs and yelling out Crip? Am I just overreacting? Comment down below. But before you do, please hit that like button. And if this is your first time joining the channel, hit that subscribe button. Back in the day, people would ask me to interview C-Mac. Why won't you interview C-Mac, Dusty Vision? Well, first of all, I'm not paying $555 or $55 or $5,555 or whatever he charges for an interview. That ain't happening. Why? So I can get the same interview he gives everyone else? Every C-Mac interview is the same. And it's getting old. C-Mac is a one-trick pony, and I believe his best days in the spotlight are behind him. I mean, how many times can one listen to someone talk about Popeye's chicken and waking up at 4 a.m. to do push-ups? He can still change it around because I do believe there is some comedic talent under all the other stuff that is piled on top of it. He could make it to Hollywood, in my opinion, but there are obvious things he would have to change about himself that I don't believe he's ready to change. And from the looks of his recent behavior after being released from jail, I don't think he ever will. It makes me sad saying this, but I don't think C-Mac will ever reach his full potential because of the things he does and talks about on YouTube. This last C-Mac interview with China Mac was a bit different, and not in a good way, in my humble opinion. This interview included a 4-year-old child in the background throwing up gang signs and being encouraged to yell out gang slogans.
Show me a dance. Show me a dance. Show me a dance, Isaac. Come on,
your dance.
Show me a dance. Show him the Crip Mac dance.
5 foot
Crip
creep.
Mac dance.
5 foot creep.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Isaac Mac.
I thought it was bad enough him being around C-Mac saying the word motherfucker 555 times, but hearing and saying that kid do Crip dances all while idolizing someone like C-Mac was very disturbing.
Why do you like Crip Mac so much?
Because
Okay. Now show.
because he just got out of jail.
What is the message here, in my opinion? If you go to jail, when you come home, people will like you. Am I reaching? Let me know down below in the comments if you think I'm tripping. The saddest part of this to watch is when C-Mac said, this 4-year-old kid is a Crip.
Evan has a bunch of friends.
We're going to make sure when Isaac Mac does it, because Evan, you know, Evan's not gang related, Isaac Mac, so you have to act like a nice little boy.
He is.
Some of the
Who,
stuff
Evan?
Yeah, Evan doesn't gang bang. Isaac Mac's a Crip.
Isaac Mac is Crip.
He's a Crip. Yes, he is.
He's definitely Crip.
Oh, yeah, he's a Crip. So we go to these parties because they're kids. They have to stay cool.
Yo, is Isaac Mac gonna have a Crip party?
Isaac Mac is. He's almost 5.
And everyone laughs. This young kid isn't old enough to make his own decisions, but you've already made the decision for him that he's a Crip? Look, I'm almost 50 years old, bro, and seeing stuff like this hurts. As a man who's knocking on 50's door, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to my community, to my people, if I didn't point this type of stuff out. This is not cool. Nothing about what this little 4-year-old is doing is cool. And shame on anyone over 30 years old, including China Mac, who laughs at this, who condones this, and doesn't say anything about it. But all due respect to China Mac, though, I don't think it's his place to correct stuff like this. He's in it for the views. He's doing this so he can chop up that 1-hour interview into 15 small clips so he can collect his increments, as C-Mac would say. No different than Adam22 or anyone else who knows the YouTube game. I'm more disappointed in the black YouTubers and content creators who haven't and will never call this stuff out. Instead, what they'll do is they'll make reaction videos to it, which in my eyes is promoting this type of behavior, which is why I don't fuck with none of you YouTubers on a personal or business level. A 4-year-old should not be doing what that 4-year-old was doing and saying on camera. There's no way in hell I'd let my 4-year-old conduct himself like this for a few laughs and giggles from adults. There's no way in hell I would allow my 4-year-old into a studio where gang activity and gang content is being promoted or encouraged. This isn't the kid's fault at all. Peace and love to that young man. I hope he has a bright future. This is a big shame on you to all the adults that were in the studio that allowed this to go down. And you wonder why these kids are out of control nowadays. Look at who they're watching. Look at the adults that are setting the example for them. The fact that black folks are boycotting Carnival Cruise Line, shit, I think it's time for a cruise, baby. Baby, write it up, look up some deals. Let's check out Carnival Cruise. I've never been on a cruise before. Don't really want to go on a cruise because I've heard of things like this. So Carnival Cruise had to update some of their policies. And a lot of black folk are mad, upset. How dare you? But why are they so mad? Well, a lot of these policies directly affect black folk. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who knows about Carnival Cruise, never been on a Carnival Cruise before, but I've heard stories. It's the most ghettoest cruise line in America. They lowered prices so low that pretty much anyone with a pulse and an EBT card could go on a cruise for 7 days. Let's go to the Bahamas, girl. $17 for the whole time. Shit, I'm ghost. Let's go. So Carnival Cruise dropping their price brought a certain clientele. I'm not only going to blame it on black folk. It brought a poor clientele. And I'm not knocking poor people. That's the only thing you could afford is a Carnival Cruise. Then cruise your little heart out. But me, I can't do Carnival Cruise because I've heard stories. It's always ghetto mup is messing it up for people who just want to have a nice time. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, they just want to have a good time. And you got a group of niggas over there doing a motherfucking fan dance. Stomping their feet and shit. And you just want to relax. So you put on your headphones. Close your eyes. Hope that drowns you out. You turn your volume all the way up in your headphones. And even as your volume is at full blast, in the background, you still hear, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Boots on the ground, boots on the ground, boot, boot, boot. And you're just trying to relax. You take off your headphones and you say, you know what, hun? I think I'm gonna just go upstairs to my room. Take a little nap, a little nappy poo. Maybe when I wake up, they'll find their fans and then I could just, come back and enjoy my time on this cruise. So you go upstairs to your nice room with the balcony because, hey, you want to walk outside, maybe get some fresh air sometime. And as you walk upstairs, you get in your room. And in the background, when you're trying to relax, all you hear is wobble, 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 wobble. Hey, girl, woo, girl, hey, wobble, 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 wobble. So you just ride it out for the next few days and you just never come back. And Carnival Cruise was getting a lot of customers that never came back. Let's listen to Miss Pat right here on Club Shay Shay discussing how Joe Rogan, only one to help her out. None of her people. Remember the fist? We were all 2020? We were all Black Power and all that. Nah. Nope. Now one person checked on Miss Pat.
Wow. That's because, you know, we too busy thinking it's not enough space for all of us.
It happens all the time.
And it is.
We're too busy thinking there's not enough space for all of us. And that's a problem. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is a big problem right there. We're too, and this goes back, this is years of training. This goes back way back to why we're mentally charged like that. Oh, maybe if I help that person out, they're going to take my spot. There's enough money. There's enough fame for all of us. But we're afraid as a people that if I give you game, you're going to take my spot. Here's Shannon Sharp and Miss Pat breaking it down oh so nicely.
If I can help you, I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see everybody on top.
It happened to me because I have a cognac. This is my cognac, Shea by Laportier. Laportier is poured.
You want to give me a few bottles for my party?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will. No problem.
Y'all heard that?
Yeah, no problem. And I send it to a lot of my friends. Now, when they send me things, T-shirts or product, I post it. I said, my product, not one.
Not one. When I post my stuff on Facebook, when I post my stuff on Instagram, post my stuff on YouTube, it ain't black folks sharing it. Of course, and of course there are a few. And let me pull back because obviously I do have a lot of black supporters. But when it comes to the things that really matter, I haven't got much support from my people. Club Shay Shay, who has millions of dollars more than I do. Whole different tax bracket is experiencing the same exact thing. Why do we do that, black folks? Huh? Who's the real enemy? Is it the pale skins? Or is it us? Are we our own worst enemy? Huh?
Not one.
Not one.
And I don't know why we like that.
Because sometimes we feel that if we get something, they lose something. Mm-hmm. Instead of, okay, well, he got it. Like, if somebody moves, like, I don't look at...
Instead of if he got it, maybe I can get it or he can help me. We can help each other. But we always talk about that unity crap. We are the most ununified group in America. I mean, it shows everywhere you go. We're the most ununified group in America.
Somebody, like I live in a neighborhood, nice neighborhood. If somebody black, oh, what they doing over here? I don't look at it like that. I'm like, man, oh, okay. Somebody else got some money, making enough money that can live here. Mm-hmm. I don't look at it or what they doing here. The same thing you do. It's a nice neighborhood, a nice school district. We well off. I don't know why we're like that, Miss Pat. I really don't.
Probably all the way date back to slavery.
Ooh, let me stop it right there. Could be dating back to slavery. You know the slave mentality is still alive today. I call y'all new slaves. But a lot of y'all are still slaves. I ain't no slave. But a lot of y'all are still slaves. And you carry that slave mentality. You know that slave mentality, right? House N-word versus field N-word. Huh? Dark versus light skin. We argue about who's prettier if they're darker or lighter. Excuse me.
That one Negro that meaning, that made
you
it
in the house, you in the fields. I'm better than you.
I'm better than you. I'm light skinned. You dark skinned.
Yeah.
It's
Your hair is longer than mine, so I don't like you. Huh? My skin is darker than yours, so you think I'm less than. Huh? It's been going on since day one, man. Day one. And it's a sad situation that we can't even agree amongst each other that we're all beautiful. Nope. That light-skinned girl over there, she's much prettier because she's light-skinned. Where does that come from? That comes from us. And it all goes back to those slave days, man. The house N-word versus the field N-word. I'm just keeping it real. If we were back in 1850, I'd rather be a house N-word. Call me what you want. I'm not built for the sun. Look how light-skinned I am. I will sunburn outside. Y'all got any PF 60 here? No? You know I'm light-skinned. I shouldn't be outside. Can y'all put me inside, please? I'd be the best house N-word, house slave boy. I'd be cooking up. And don't think it was a little bit easier for the house N-word just because he got a little bit of shade. It was still hot. And the house N-word still had to serve the master's wife when the master went out of town. And you know what I mean by serve. Those house N-words were piping down master's wife. But don't think that was all fun and games, okay? I come from a long list of house N-words. And believe me, we didn't enjoy piping down the masters. It wasn't fun. We didn't enjoy piping the mat. You know how funky that vagina smelled back in 1833? Huh? When she lifted up, when the master went to town to go get his meat and his cheese and his cattle and bring it back, when he was gone for all them hours, slave master's wife was like, "Come here, nigga boy. Come here, N-word boy." And then she would lift up that colonial dress, that long dress that she was wearing, and the house N-word would just get a woof. Woo, of that vagina. And they weren't shaving back then. Huh? They were probably taking showers once every other day, if that, once a week maybe. This whole taking a shower every day thing, that's new. That's something new. Back in the day, they weren't taking showers every day. Now think about it. I go 1 day without taking a shower. I'm a smelly mofo. Now imagine having a big old hairy muff down there. Look, I'm sorry. If you got any kids in the room, take them out. Imagine if, first of all, your kid shouldn't even be here listening to this. But imagine having a big old hairy muff down there that hasn't had any Dove soap ran through it, in the past 36, 48 hours. What do you think that smelled like? You think master's wife wiped it down a little bit before she made the house N-word go down and do his thing? Come here. You come on now. Do you really think that? So stop saying the house N-word had it easier. We had it hard too, man. Let's talk about a couple more of my favorites. These two, my last two, these will be my last two. But this one, for sure, will most likely be on people's top 10 lists. This is one of the ones you're going to see on the most top 10 lists when it comes to top 10 diss songs of all time. Tupac's Hit 'Em Up. When I heard that, oh my goodness, I will never forget. It may have been like the Saturday or week after it came out or something like that, right? It was no more than a couple weeks after it came out. Me and my friends were at a party. That song came on. The DJ put that song on, and when I tell you, every person in that party recited every single line to that song. including the beginning and the ending. I F'd your B, you fat, and then he goes on the end and Mobb Deep and the sickle cell thing. And they were doing all of that word for word, myself included. That's how many times we had already heard that song in the first week or two, because that song, when it came out, it was like, oh my goodness. At this point, obviously, the Biggie and Tupac beef was escalated to levels that would eventually lead both of them to being sent to an early grave, right? And everyone and their mama, including myself, have talked about the Biggie and Tupac situations. I'm not going to, go into it anymore. I'm just going to tell you about how that song Hit 'Em Up made me feel and how it made Los Angeles feel at that time. That song, Hit 'Em Up, was crazy. And from the opening line, that's why I F'd your B, you fat mother effer. And he was talking about banging Faith Evans or getting head from her, one or the other. One or the other, but Faith Evans comes out to LA, links up with Pac, and the rest is history, and who really knows what really happened. I guess the only one that really knows what really happened right now is Faith Evans. She's still alive. Unfortunately, Pac and Biggie are not with us anymore. But Biggie never really came back. He would throw slick jabs. Let me take that back. I liked the way Biggie did it. Instead of doing a whole 4 or 5 minute song about you, he'll throw a little slick jab on a song. We all know the Jay-Z cut where he says if Faith had twins, she'd probably have 2 Pacs. Get it? 2 Pacs. I mean, and that was about as most explicit or out there as he got it. He did those type of jabs where you didn't even realize it was a diss at Tupac until shit was all said and done. You know what I mean? Until they were both gone. They're like, oh shit, that was a diss. That was a diss at Tupac. Oh, just got it now. You know what I mean? But they had their beef, and it really sucks because they were really, really they could have made great music together. Could you imagine a Biggie and Tupac album? Sit back for a couple of minutes and just think about a Biggie Tupac album. That would have been amazing. That would have been huge. They did the song Running together, right? They did like stuff together. There's a famous clip on YouTube of them freestyling, rapping on stage at a concert, them and a few other people. So there's proof that they have done stuff together. But could you imagine a whole project of Biggie and Pac, man? That would be dope.
I think the media definitely hyped it up. I think some of the higher powers that we don't even know about were involved with that. I think that was just something sad that happened at the right time, which happened to be the wrong time. Because Big loved Pac. We used to ask him. He worshipped there near the ground. He used to love Pac. Pac used to give him jewels, and he would tell us stories for days about Pac. So I knew for a fact that he loved him, genuinely loved him.
Right.
So when all that stuff happened, it was a little bit crazy to us. And we missed it, kind of. Like, we came a little bit after that. Or we started blossoming after that, because, Pac he didn't know about us like that in the Outlaws, and they never said anything about the Locks.
Right.
Because we came after that, but just to be there and see that. I think I might have been with Big at a Total video, Missing You remix, the first time he heard Hit 'Em Up, though. When he got somebody pass it to him and put it in, I think I was there when he first laid ears on that. And he wasn't even really mad. He was more mad at the stuff they were saying about C's and Kim.
Like I said, the relationship, he knew the relationship. Anytime he was seeing Big, it's 90% chance you saw me with him. You know what I mean? It's times I saw Pac by myself, and I used to have to go take him stuff for Big. You know what I mean? I go drop him off some shit he needed. Big, I'd be like, yo, go take this to Pac. He at the Millennium Hotel. I jump on the Iron Horse, go see him, and I'd be like, here, Big told me to bring it to you. Come here, little nigga, smoke one with me. One day I smoked so much weed with that nigga fell asleep. I tapped him, was like, yo, I'm leaving, dog. He was on his bed, knocked out, but that's, you know, he always like, yo, nah, come smoke. I fuck with you, little nigga. Like, he'd sit there and kick it to me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't unexpected because I knew him. So I knew what he was about. If he felt the way about something, I knew he's going to speak on it. So we already kind of knew it was a little tension from thinking about the who shot you. So it's like, but I didn't think he was going to go that hard. Like, the motherfucker with, like, it's probably one of the hardest diss tracks ever in fucking rap music.
We were with Tupac a week before he died. That was when he called Gip to the studio. We got to LA. And Pac said, man, y'all come to the studio. I want something to let you hear. I want to let you hear something, Gip. So when I got to the studio, it was Death Row. It was Death Row then. So they were like, I want you to hear something, Gip. I said, what is it, Pac? And he hit the button. First of all, fuck you. The first people to ever hear the record. It was the first. As soon as he recorded, he called Big Mom. He comes to me.
I was watching this clip of these ghetto ass Frontier Airlines employees. They were mocking this customer. And I was like, first that clip went viral and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of shit. That's not cool. There's nothing funny about that. But these two ghetto ass employees, gate agents, went viral when they caught themselves trying to embarrass a customer who I guess they didn't agree with over something. So just picture the two ghettoest little fucking chicks that you can imagine. And here we go.
They made that like you did, and you think we go, oh, you're gonna check me in. I bet you we won't. Hey?
I paid for a ticket.
And you
yeah, I paid for a
ticket. For agent assistant, and you checked in 3 hours later. Hello.
I just said that I.
Get on your flight.
Yeah, I just said that I would pay the $25.
And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket. I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes before my flight, and they're not letting me check in.
And you're not getting on your flight.
Because it's a policy. We don't control that.
And you will never fly.
You were about to let me check in. You were about to let me check in, and you decided that you ain't gonna let me check in.
Make me check you in.
You literally work for a company that I bought a plane ticket for. I'm here 30 minutes before the flight.
Can you please leave, sir?
No.
Can you please leave my personal space?
I'm not in your personal space. This is not your personal space. This is
my stationery.
This is not your personal space.
Ugh. This type of behavior makes me want to throw up, and this is why they don't like us. This is a type of behavior we need to check early, because that right there is years of bad behavior. Years of, I don't know, maybe mom saying, hey, cool your fucking mouth. Hey, give me your phone. No, you can't go out this weekend. Maybe your dad should have stuck around. Just a guess. Airlines, and I know Frontier is not top of the end, they're up there with the spirits of the world, but still, you're representing an airline, probably a multi-million-dollar, probably billion-dollar airline, and this is what you're doing? Are these, going back to that DEI thing, are these the type of employees that people are forced to hire now because it's really just hard to find good workers out there? This is gross. And this is coming from a black man. That's gross. If that was my daughter, I would be the most ashamed father. I would be the most ashamed mother. I don't know what happened before the cameras were turned on, but I am so glad those two girls got fired. You're fired. Good. That's gross. So yeah, what do you guys think of these two ghetto-ass Frontier Airlines employees fired after mocking a customer? These gate agents who went viral representing a multi-million-dollar company. I'd love to know your thoughts. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. One person was hospitalized after shots were fired at Dockweiler Beach. Dockweiler Beach. Anyone in Los Angeles County knows Dockweiler Beach. Dockweiler Beach is one of those beaches. There's only a few of them in Los Angeles, specifically Southern California. But Dockweiler Beach is one of those beaches where if you're coming from out of town, don't go to Dockweiler Beach. Just don't. If you live in LA, just don't go to Dockweiler Beach. Let's just go ahead and just like dead Dockweiler Beach. Dockweiler Beach, the most ghettoest beach in Los Angeles. Anybody in LA would agree with me. It's our inkwell. It's the closest, the best way to describe it, it's the closest beach to the hood by miles wise. So what do you do when you go to Dockweiler Beach? You see the blue team, you see the red team, you see 13 everywhere. You see every gang that lives within a 10-mile radius of Dockweiler Beach. Long Beach is the same kind of beach for the most part, but Dockweiler Beach is a special kind of ghetto. Because Long Beach is kind of, far from South Central in the sense that, people in the hood really don't go anywhere. I mean, there's people in the hood right now 10 miles from the beach who have never set foot in the sand. Can I say that again? We live in one of the most beautiful states, not street-wise, but beaches, deserts, mountains. We have everything. It's beautiful out here. Anybody who says anything about California is different, it's fucking beautiful out here. But we have some of the most beautiful beaches out here. Long Beach is one of those bad boys where you don't want to go to, and Dockweiler Beach. Rhymes with the black person's vision of Rockweiler, because black people do not know how to say Rottweiler. I had a Rottweiler for 12 years. Shout out to Roddy, R.I.P. homie. I miss you, man. I love you, man. My Roddy lived to be almost 12. And I swear, every black person that passed me was like, I like your Rottweiler. Hey, homie, is your Rottweiler American or German? Hey, homie, is your Rottweiler? I'm like, dog, in my head, I'm like, it's Rottweiler. Say it with me, black people. Rottweiler. Rottweiler, not Rockweiler. Rottweiler. And while I'm at it, it's ambulance. Just look how it's spelled. Ambulance. Not ambulance. It's not ambulance. Okay? Can we all kind of get together and agree that it's Rottweiler, it's ambulance, and it's Joe Budden with no S? Why do we always add S's to the end? Getting off topic. One person hospitalized after shots were fired at Dockweiler Beach, man. The most ghettoest beach in Los Angeles. The C team goes there, the B team goes there, the SAs go there. If you are an out-of-towner, do not go there, and definitely don't bring a sports hat, okay? Do not bring a sports hat to Los Angeles. Just leave all your sports hats at home, okay? Just a friendly word of advice. I've been living in Los Angeles all my life. The only sports hat I wear is an LA Dodgers hat. That's the only hat you're going to catch me wearing. That's it. I'm not going to be wearing any other hat because it is associated with everything. And I'm sure the LA Dodgers are associated with a few different gangs around Los Angeles. I'm sure that's the case. I think Los Avenidos is one. But, like, dog, I got to support my Dodgers. But even then, I just don't like when my homies, like, I got best friends, man, like they'll be wearing, and they're just sports fans, so they'll wear a Houston Astros hat. And I'm like, damn, man. You know what I mean? Hey, I just like the Phillies, man. I have no association with, wait, that means pyro? Hell no. Yeah, so just leave your hats at home. I would highly suggest you leave your hats at home, and I would definitely suggest if you come to Los Angeles and you want to go to a great beach, do not go to Dockweiler Beach. And you might want to stay away from Long Beach too. Yeah, Long Beach, like I was saying earlier, is a little bit further than LA, so people ain't trying to go to, LA from that part of Long Beach. Long Beach is about as south as it gets, right next to Orange County, so it's like, man, that's up to a nigga that ain't ever been past his hood, been in the water, which trips me out that there are people who live 5 miles away from the beach and have never been. Black people, we got to do better in that sense. We got to do better. We got to let our kids experience shit. Okay? But Doc Weiler is nothing like a great movie that I enjoyed as a kid called The Inkwell. Do you guys remember the movie The Inkwell? With Jada Pinkett Smith and what's old boy's name from Menace to Society? Lorenz Tate. Good movie. I kind of liked it personally. But The Inkwell was elegant. All the elegant black folks went to The Inkwell. It was where, all right, so back in the day, they didn't let us go to beaches, right, to every beach. So we had to go and create our own beaches or go to our own little section of the beach, you know. It wasn't as nice. It didn't have probably as nice of a breeze. Maybe, I don't know, the rocks were blocking the sunset. I don't know. It was, hey, go over there. So we created called The Inkwell. And we would inkwell, get it, black well in water. So we're over there at the Inkwell doing our thing, having fun. But it was elegant black folks. Now you go to Doc Weiler Beach, man, you're going to see all kind of ghetto hoes with all different types of purple hair and bright toenails and furry slippers. You hoes need to leave the furry slippers in the house. I saw furry slippers that were pink the other day from some ghetto ass hoes walking down the street, and those poor things looked like a rag dog that hadn't been cleaned in 6 months. They were damn near brown, but they were supposed to be pink. Yeah, those furry slippers. Just stop wearing those, ladies. Can we ban the furry slipper, please? Can we ban the furry slipper? I would really appreciate it. Just a suggestion. But what do you think? Am I tripping? Hit that like button if you haven't already, and please, if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button. Unfortunately, man, you know, a lot of other groups, and I put Asians included, they're seen as guests in hip hop. And I personally don't really necessarily believe that. I feel like hip hop is everything, you know what I mean? But I feel like you guys are you and white people especially as well, like you'll have a bigger eye on you. You know what I'm saying? Like you do one little thing wrong. Oh, see, now they're messing up the culture vultures, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. You're right. You're right, man. Yep.
So yeah, keep that shit alive, man. But let's go back to Biggie and Pac, man. Then we're going to wrap it up because that was a hard time in hip hop. And since you mentioned them first, I want to talk about that time. Take yourself back to September 96. You know what I mean? Tupac has his life taken from him. 6 months later, Biggie has his life taken from him. You know what I mean? What do you remember about that time in hip hop and how you were feeling?
I mean, it's a time that I'll never forget because my grandfather and my mom's dad passed away that same year. So it's just like, you know, I'll never forget that time. That whole feeling during that time. I mean, you were there too, so you know what I'm talking about. Like, there was just like a lot of controversy, right, during that time with Biggie and Pac, even when they were alive. And it's just like they had all the attention, right? I mean, that whole thing was just under a microscope. And you know, during that time, when they died, that whole feeling of, you know, he had just dropped the album Machiavelli. So, I mean, in my head, you know, he was still alive. You know, during that time, during that moment in time. You know, I'm sure everybody, you got to know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You still had that feeling that he was still alive. And that, I swear he was still alive for you know what I mean? For that next 3, 4, 5 years, I was like, oh, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. But, you know, after a while, you just knew he wasn't going to come back.
Yeah. But
that was the feeling during that time. And same thing with Biggie, man. I was like, man, they both might be just alive, chilling on an island somewhere. You know what I mean? That was the general consensus, I would say, between everybody that knew, you know, anything about hip hop or felt a certain way, you know, towards hip hop. Yeah, and if you were paying attention to, you know, the whole Biggie and Pac thing during those few short years right there. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember that Machiavelli album, which I bump to this day. It's actually one of my favorite Tupac projects. And it was just so weird because we were this is pre-internet, everybody, keep in mind. So we were dissecting that album, you know, bit by bit. And everyone remembers the opening where it sounded like he said, "Suge shot me." And everybody's like, oh my God, he said Suge shot me. I mean, but it obviously wasn't, you know.
You can still hear it right now. Yeah, I mean, if you go on iTunes or YouTube, you can still hear it right now. I still bump
that song. That's one of my favorite diss songs of all time. That's that opening
for sure,
where he's going at Nas and all them and Haitian Jack. Woo.
Bomb first.
Sheesh. We bump first when we ride. Please reconsider for you die. You ain't even come to fight tonight.
God.
Man, that shit's crazy. Dog.
Man, right? This is the whole diss. I mean, Tupac, man. I know Eminem is seen as the greatest, and he is, and he's definitely in my top top 3.
Yeah, he's
all time,
one of my
top
favorites.
2 all time. You know what I mean? But that diss, man, Tupac. Oh man, especially like you said, that bomb first. I mean, nobody is really dissing like Tupac. I mean, Eminem will sit there and pick you apart and make fun of you. Tupac will really, you know what I mean? Like, man, it's on some religious type shit with him. Like, man, there's some beef right there. For real, it's crazy.
You can hear it in his voice too, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time, man. Great time, man. The 90s were the shit, you know, and I think right now I'm loving, you know, a lot of the hip hop that's coming out. And that's because I keep my ear to the street. So I'm able to run into the Pacific Killers and the, you know, the artists like that, you know what I mean? And you guys are definitely keeping it alive, man. Before we head out, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you and give any shout outs that you want. Tell us about any upcoming projects. The floor is yours, man.
Man, I just want to give a shout out to my crew, my group, Pacific Killers. You guys go and search us. It's PACIFIKILLAZ. We're available on all digital streaming platforms. We got all the social medias hooked up, so you guys go check it out. Shout out to my DJ Smiley. Everybody go check him out. Shout out to Dusty Vision for this interview, man. I really appreciate you, man, and thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, brother. And I definitely look forward. I'm gonna connect with you offline, and I'm gonna get Six on the show in a couple of weeks, and C-Nut as well, because I would love to hear their story also. And then we'll get Smiley on as well. So I'm gonna get with you offline.
Yeah, definitely, man. They'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, we'll make that happen, dude. But I appreciate you very much, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And once again, Pacific Killers on all platforms. PACIFIK. LLAs. I'm trying to say it as cool as y'all say it, man. Y'all say that shit proper.
That's right.
But man, it's been a pleasure, dog. It's definitely been a pleasure, and I'll stay in touch. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Peace, dog.
Have a good one.
You too.